Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with episode number 4, The Citadel. Tell Her Everything. IMDb gave this a 7.3. I'm not mad at the 7.3.
Yeah, I
I
think
would
that's
have,
fair. I think it's fair.
and dude, this is like, okay, this was like a 40-minute episode. And
Mhm.
again, they started off the episode with a mission, right?
Yeah, to
Mhm.
rescue the fallen agent
Yeah,
who is
Carter.
appalled that they are there.
Right.
Carter's like, oh, no, don't you come help me.
Carter was like, so, we were talking about this offline, when they went and rescued
Mhm.
Carter, he was like, what are you doing here? And then Mason thought, Carter was talking to him, but, Carter
Yeah,
was
he's like,
actually
no,
talking about
her.
Nadia, like, so,
Yeah.
last week you were saying you thought that Mason was the mole. And now it
I
seems
still
like,
do.
yeah, it seems like
I,
Nadia
I,
is the mole, but I think
yeah.
that's a switch right there, a code switch, huh?
I think that's the switcheroo for TV, keeping
Yeah,
you out there. I think Mason is the real mole. And
yeah.
the reason why I think that is because he doesn't have his memory. So everybody else knows everything except him. So he's being played. Like right now, they're letting him on with their version of events for him. He
Mhm,
doesn't really know what's going on. That's why I think it's a TV switcheroo. I don't know. It's a vibe. It's a hunch so
mhm.
far. I have nothing to back this up, but we'll see. But I think it is. I'm gonna bank on that.
Now, do you think that okay? So no one knows anything because, well, at least
Mm-hmm.
Mason and Brielle or Celeste
Mm-hmm.
or Abby, she doesn't know anything either. So, do you think
Mm-hmm.
that because Mason doesn't know anything and he lost his memory, do you think that the Citadel actually set this entire thing up so that he doesn't remember anything? You think that's true?
I mean, that's possible because there was moles in the Citadel, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been set up in a way to make sure that he, of all people, has to lose his memory. That's possible, but like, to what end though? What do you get out of him losing his memory only? I guess you can take
Well,
him off the board. He can't do anything.
Well, maybe they discovered that he actually is a double, a double agent for Manticore, and they're just like, okay, let's not say anything, let's set it up and see if we can get
Well, because
information.
if he doesn't have his memory, he's useless to Manticore unless they have
Right.
a way to get his memory back. But
Hmm.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is that's the question I have about this because it's not clear. Is that vial the only version of his memory, or is there a backup somewhere else?
Yeah.
Is there a backup? Is
Well,
that vial's the only thing of his memory? That's it. There's no way he could get it again.
I'm gonna say no because remember, everything is backed up to the central server, so there has to be a backup,
Yeah,
right? Hmm.
it doesn't. Well, we don't know if they blew up the building where the headquarters for Citadel. We
Or
don't
like
know.
in Utah, right? The headquarters. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
We have
The
2
headquarters
episodes
in the
left. Mhm.
mountain. We have no idea if they blew if they got rid of that, then he's got real problems. But
He's done.
there
Well,
has to be a possibility.
the thing
Maybe
about
some server
servers
somewhere
is,
else.
the thing about
Yeah, it's in the
servers is
cloud. So.
it's in the cloud, right? Exactly. Let me ask you this here because
Mhm,
watching we're 4 episodes in with the Citadel,
mhm.
and I'm really impressed with Nadia as a spy, right? Man,
Yeah, she's a great spy.
did you see how she was just swissing folks up? I mean, she stabbed the
Yeah, yeah,
guy
yeah.
and like came down on his leg with a knife, just like sliced it
That was
open.
that whole action sequence was fire. All
And
of
you
it
know
was
what?
fire.
And it was her. If you look at it,
Mhm.
I mean, last week, Mason had a dope, sort of scene like on the ski slopes and everything. But
Yeah,
Nadia
yeah.
also
Is it
kicks
her
butt,
turn?
man. She's very
Yeah, yeah, she's
impressive,
doing her thing.
very impressive as a spy
And
for real.
you can see sparks of Mason getting his thing back when he came in the building. Like, he's doing everything right. Like, he's touching his shoulder and let her know where he is.
Hmm.
He's doing all the basics that you would get when you do the
Right.
breach and entry, whatever. So
Hmm.
it's kind of there, but not really. Because when he ran out of bullets, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, he was a
And
little
she's like,
timid
"Fine, I'll
there.
give you back up there." Like, yeah.
Right.
But
Hmm.
like, it seems like that the muscle reflexes are there, like the muscle memory. It's all kind of there still, which is interesting too. Because how deep of a spy was he that he could lose his memory, but all that stuff is still there. Like, it didn't look like it was there for her. Because like when he threw the knife at her, she was like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?"
Right.
But like for him, he threw the knife. He just caught it instantly. He's like, "Oh, I still got it." That's interesting because he was around longer too. They didn't say
Mm.
how long he was in Citadel, but he was there longer than what's her name, Nadia.
Nadia, yeah.
So
Let me
yeah, I don't know.
let me throw this like totally different plot twist into the mix, right? What if Mason is playing the whole like I lost my memory thing? What if he's playing that whole thing again? Maybe he is truly an agent or a double agent for Manticore, and he's playing this entire thing.
That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. Because
Yeah,
he
right.
did. It's funny how he got together with Abby, or what's her name, Celeste, or whatever her name
Celeste
is.
or
Like,
Brielle
it's
with
funny of all the people
Jennifer.
that you would get together with. It's funny that he would get together with her
Yeah,
when he loses his memory. Like, how do you? Because she's in a specific spot, and he came from Italy all the way over there to get to this one spot and just end up with her. That's kind of crazy.
yeah,
Like, but that's a lot of skill. Well, because the other thing about this episode is that he's explaining how you have to believe the lie and you have to sell it, otherwise you're gonna get caught out there. So
right.
like, it could be foreshadowing, to be honest, that he does know what is going on and he's playing dumb.
That's what
That's a
I'm saying, man.
possibility. It's a very good
That's
point that you just made.
Well, that's the thing about these super duper spy flicks, right? Is like you really
Hmm.
don't know until they tell you, right?
Yeah,
You just don't
because
because we were talking about they were like, hey, there's no more
yeah,
spies. We now know that Carter is alive and he is also part of Citadel, right? So we know that.
hmm,
Um,
hmm,
and it's just again,
and he did lose his memory, which he's supposed to. He knew everything that was going on while he was still in the jail. Everybody was
y-
supposed to be backstopped.
right. But you know what? You said he did lose his memory because when he
No,
was
no, actually, no, you're right, because he did. The
he,
two
he
people on the train were the ones that got backstopped. He didn't
right.
get backstopped. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and speaking of backstop, the way they backstop, this was the first time they used the backstop technology
Yeah, he's Abby.
on Celeste or Abby or Brielle.
Ah,
And they were just
yeah.
like, I mean, they sent her to New Mexico, Mexico City to like get this done, right?
Hmm.
Let me ask you this
Yeah.
about Celeste, right? So she went undercover to mess with like the
Hmm.
twins, right? The twins are sick. They're just completely sick, man. I mean, they're
It's
sick.
cool characters. I like that. I
Mhm.
like them.
And so she infiltrated these two sort of like thugs, right? And then they
Hmm.
found out he was creating a super weapon called the Oz key, which is
Yeah,
completely, I mean, you're a tech
that's
person, I'm a tech
magical.
person. That's
That's so
magical, right? It's
magical.
just like how can you create I mean, just imagine this. You're creating something that looks like a disc. Mind you, you have
Hmm.
all these different shapes and things when it comes to like the wafer
Hmm.
and the just the core and everything else, right? This
Hmm.
device is supposed to disable the entire infrastructure of countries,
Yeah,
not a
that's
not a
not.
company, not an elementary school,
Yeah,
not like
a whole country. Yeah,
not the
if you did
servers at
like a
Target. Yeah,
yeah, if you did like a Faraday cage or something like that in this little area, I'm like, okay, you did like an EMP, mini EMP, like, all
yeah.
right. I mean,
Mhm.
that's silly, but okay. But like a whole country with this little wafer thing,
No,
it's a bit much. It's too
right.
much TV magic.
So let me ask you this here, right? Because we
Mhm.
know that someone has the Oz key. We know that. We know that whatever like
Yeah,
Celeste or Abby or Brielle grabbed, it was like a fake sort of Oz key. So someone has the Oz key, but I think they said someone does have it. I mean, if you saw like when
mhm.
Mason was checking his phone, they said we have the case. I don't know
Yeah,
which
but
case they're talking about.
yeah, he got
Mhm.
mad. He just threw, when he threw his phone or something like that.
Yeah,
He's got mad. He's not a text. He got mad.
yeah,
Yeah, that could mean anything though. I think he was supposed to get it and not tell anybody, and he's kind of framing her, which is also interesting. That's
yeah,
a possibility too that he does have it, but he's just trying to frame her. I don't know, man. It can go in a lot of different directions. So like I like for the show so far, I like the mystery and like you don't really know what's happening. All that stuff
yeah.
is great. I
I
love it.
like that. I like that. Now, do you think that I'm going to mention her three names: Celeste, Brielle, and Abby. Do you think she's
Yeah.
a believable spy?
No.
No.
No,
No,
I don't think
but
it's exclusive.
but yo, the
It's a
way she
honeypot, I guess,
you said a
but
honey
like,
pot. Right, exactly,
but
right? Mhm. No,
as a spy, just kicking down
no.
doors, like, nah, I don't
But
think
yo, the way she
I wouldn't
busted
send
open
her to a James Bond mission.
exactly the way she like busted Davik's head with the toilet a
That's
toilet
fair.
yeah, just a
Yeah,
toilet tub cover, just like wow. I was like, oh my goodness, that must he has a headache,
yeah.
yo, for real.
Oh, he's got a giant headache. But like, I like that it's realistic about like the women fighting and the men fighting, what they can and can't do. Because
Hmm.
it's ridiculous when watching action movies and there's like a 80-pound girl flipping guys through a window. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Like, stop
No,
it. That's
I mean,
ridiculous. So like
yeah,
they're using their size. They realize that I can't take down a 300-pound dude. So like they're using knives and weapons. So I'm cool with all that. I like that. It's realistic from that standpoint. The technology is ridiculous, all right? But
yeah,
the
right,
fighting stuff is realistic, and I appreciate that for them.
yeah. So thus far, 4 episodes in, like, who's your best
Mm.
character thus far? 4 episodes in.
I like Nadia.
Me
I
too.
like
I think.
Mason, but
Mhm.
Mason's kind of a douchebag, so like I like him and don't like him. He's likable when he doesn't have his memory. When he has his memory, you're like, oh, this guy's a prick, man. What I guess why that makes him a good spy because James Bond's a prick too, but it makes sense. But like Nadia is likable all around, but I think that she's hiding something really large that
Yeah.
affects everybody,
Right.
and I think
Exactly.
Mason's hiding something really large he doesn't know yet that's gonna
Mhm.
affect everybody too. Because they both
Ev-
said it on the train.
yeah. Every time I see, like, again, 4 episodes in, every time I see Nadia, like, just the way
Mm.
she moves as a spy, the way she fights, I'm like, man, this could be a movie with her as the spy,
Yeah, yeah,
her as the
yeah,
lead,
yeah. I hope they do. I like the universe building so far, and
Hmm.
I hope they expand it and do more shows or do a movie or something. I don't want this to be the end of this show. I like it. You
Yeah.
have to do more. The universe building is great.
I
Like
really
that.
like I really like that they're putting money into every episode.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't feel cheap. Like this episode, there wasn't too much cross country traveling, whatever. It's
Hmm.
kind of they is kind of stuck in the little area, but
Right.
still, action was solid, story was good. So they are putting money into each episode. Like there's no, they didn't have a walking and talking episode so far,
Yeah.
at least that I
Hmm.
haven't seen yet. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But like, I think the last two episodes are gonna be crazy
Oh my
just to
goodness.
to maintain the fire.
I think that Amazon has done this in the past where like they give you the last 2 episodes up front. They've done that in the
Mm.
past, so who knows, right? But last episode, it was basically Bernard and Andor. He was like, but Andor was going to help Bernard, escape, and
Mhm.
so that he can
Yeah,
link up with Brielle, right? So here's the
that's what
thing,
I was
right?
waiting for.
Right, but
I was waiting for that for this episode. Yeah.
right, but you know what? But here's the thing, right? They use this
Mhm.
episode to set up how Brielle and Anders sort of met, right?
Yeah.
And here's the
And
other
why he
thing.
wants to get her back.
Right. And here's the other thing. We know that they use this whole backstop on Brielle
Mm,
first, right? Or Celeste, right?
mm.
And we were just talking earlier that, there's probably a backup of his memory somewhere. And even
It has to
Celeste's memory,
be.
right?
It
So
has to be.
if Bernard is going to reconnect Andor's and
Mhm.
Abby or Brielle together, she's gonna need her memory back, right?
Yeah, otherwise it's pointless. You get to start a
Yeah,
new love
exactly.
affair.
So I think there's some memories stored somewhere, I don't know, like somewhere. It's in the
Mm.
clouds, like you said, it's all in the
It's a
clouds.
spy agency. There's gotta be double cross. Like, there's
Yeah,
gotta be something going on
exactly.
here.
Yeah, so man, this joint is really interesting. I
Mm,
love how they just keep you on the edge every episode. Every episode, you're on the edge. When they end,
yeah,
you're on
yeah.
the edge, like, oh, I can't wait until the next episode. Okay,
Mm.
again, we love this episode. At least I love the episode. It sounds like you love the episode
I
as
liked it
well,
too. I
right?
liked it too, yeah. I like the
Okay.
universe, man. Universe is
Mhm.
great.
So, like, thus far, we're 4 episodes in. This
Mhm.
episode, number 4, Tell Her Everything.
Yeah, tell her
So,
everything, yeah.
yeah, what are you going to rate it?
I give it a 7.5. I
Hmm.
think it was great. I think it's pretty good. it also like it's setting up for all the discoveries that's coming up in the next 2 episodes. Or
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be seeds of something for the future sequels or whatever the next season.
Mm-hmm.
As most likely it was gonna be. I don't think they can give you everything at the end of this show.
Yeah.
So what would you rate it?
I'm going to give it an 8.5, and I'm going to tell you why.
Mhm.
Because when I was watching the opening mission, the scene when they were,
Mhm.
trying to rescue Carter from the Manticore Black Ops site, right? It
Mhm.
made me really feel like Nadia could be a super spy all on her own. She doesn't
Yeah,
need
Nadia's
like
a
a
G.
she is dude. I mean, come on. She needs something because and I
Mhm.
hope that, with the second season, if there is a second season, she's still around. I hope so.
Mhm.
I hope that she becomes the main spy like for Citadel
Mhm.
because man, the way she fights, the way she moves, she understands the whole nine. She's like, listen, we're just spies. We're
Yeah.
having sex. We're just spies. I'm not in love with you, we're just
Yeah,
having
but
fun. Hmm.
we're getting a hobbled version of Mason though. We don't know what kind of super G he is too. That's the thing that it kind of like it's like Nadia's great, but Nadia's only great because this guy doesn't have his memory. He's not 100% yet. He's like 30% right now, 20%.
Well,
So yeah,
they showed us some opening spy missions where it was just like about
oh yeah,
Mason. Remember,
they were both cutting up.
yeah, remember Mason on the ski slopes, man. That was a
Mhm.
dope scene. I was just like, wow, this is so crazy, man. So
Yeah,
Keo
yeah.
is giving it a 7.5. I am giving it an 8.5.
Mhm.
Citadel, 2 episodes left. Man, I can't wait to see what they're gonna do because they're putting money, they're putting their foot into this entire 6 episodes. I love it. The writing is really good too, right?
Ryan's good.
Yeah,
I like it. I saw some criticisms of it, and I'm like, this is spy stuff. Like this is how it is. Like
yeah,
everyone's trying to be extra. Like it's got to be Shakespeare. It's not Shakespeare. We
yeah,
come here for the action and a good story. That's it. That's all we're here for.
yeah,
Acting is okay. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It's all is about the action. Like I just watched John Wick the other day, and the acting whatever is just okay. But John Wick was freaking crazy
yeah.
because that's what we came there for.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway,
was I was telling my cousin, I was telling him about this show, and I was
mm,
like, "Yo, it's a spy flick. It's all about the drip, drip. That's what a spy flick is.
yeah,
It's drip, drip, drip. You have to follow, breadcrumbs and dripping. That's it.
that's
Don't
it.
like
That's all you ask
overthink it.
for.
You know
That's the
something's
point.
gonna pop off. That is the point.
Yeah,
It's a spy
that is
flick,
the point.
right?
You're not
So
everything doesn't have to be explosions at the Hindenburg. Like you gotta, it's supposed to be a slow burn with good things happening, little trickles of stuff. When you get to it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is worth it. That's the
yeah,
point of spy stuff.
exactly. Gotta love it. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.